must be without your help. The station of decapitation.
Hey, and we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
And we're joined by musician and filmmaker Richard Elfman. It's good to meet you. I met you. It's good to have you on the show. And of course, one of our
filmmaker,
favorites.
dancer, all of the things.
Exactly. And yes, you want to introduce Anastasia?
Oh,
Amazingness. Wonderful. And I feel like Neal is still not getting your name right.
It's all fine. Anastasia.
Anastasia Elfman. Yeah. All right.
One of these days. But
very...
so happy to have you both here. Bloody Bridget.
Yeah, we got Bloody Bridget in the background. I think things are covered up, so YouTube won't strike us or anything. You can see little red eye there. And that's an eyeball, so don't do anything to us. Bloody Bridget, which is amazing, and not just because you're here and I like you guys. This is super fun, and I imagine watching with an audience is a completely different experience.
Yeah, when they're screaming and yelling and clapping and drooling, and that adds to it.
Right, that's just me in my room watching it, but with a bunch of other people, it's even cooler.
Yeah, there's usually a couple of very avid fans that rip the hearts out of their neighbors and suck their blood.
Very enthusiastic.
Yeah, so be warned at the screening. So that's coming up next weekend at Mightier Than the Sword Film Festival in North Carolina. So that's really exciting. And it's not just Bloody Bridget. You're also showing Forbidden Zone. Is there another movie too?
Aliens, Clowns, and Geeks.
Very nice. It's the trifecta.
Yeah.
So was Bloody Bridget written specifically with Anastasia in mind?
Definitely.
Meant for it.
Yeah. It's good news to Anastasia. She's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here if the answer is no. Yeah.
Too late now. That's why.
Right.
It's amazing, and your love for horror. When I've met you before, it's just this total, like you've even said it, like geek out for horror. Your own words that you are so into it, and that the idea of Lon Chaney and your love and the transformations, and this was awesome, because you're a glorious demon. I don't think I'm giving anything away. It's on the poster.
It's on the.
I love it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so lucky that Rick wrote such a dynamic role for me to, in essence, play two totally opposite characters and be able to carry it through this wonderful, moving story. And everybody just better be good, or else.
Yeah. This one, the bad guys get it; and they deserve it.
Yeah, that's what I like about that. Bridget's a vampire, a demon vampire, but she's only going after the creeps.
Yeah, we're rooting for the demon.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love the story behind it, because it's not just you're a demon. It's like there's this whole, the mythology and the spiritual background was really, really interesting. So there's depth in there. Not just you're out there killing, which would have been cool too.
I'm a Latin percussionist. That was actually my first love. But when you really get into the music, you get into the culture of African culture, Afro-Caribbean culture. And in Haiti, in the folk ceremonies, beer and Samadai, top hat, cigar, rum, his wife is ostensibly a red-haired Irish Saint Bridget from Ireland, who was, before that was the Celtic goddess Bridget. And so this is a true story. So I'm in a bar drinking with Baron Samadai, and he hasn't seen his red-haired wife in 90 years. And a red-haired Irish burlesque dancer comes out and he mistakes her for his ex-wife. And he transforms her into a Valentine vampire. And she says, "What is that?" "You shall see. Blood only whets her appetite. She must eat their beating hearts."
So, and we have Valentine's Day coming up, so it's the perfect film for February.
Oh, absolutely.
Get a hello from Renegade Film Festival.
Nice.
And
Cool.
hello, everyone. It is Richard's next meal at the Usna home.
God, maybe next week. We usually get together on a weekly meal with other horror directors.
Excellent.
And, I grill up a storm.
Yeah.
That's part of your reputation is grill master.
Yeah, well, we don't pay our cast and crews a ton, but they eat well because I put on a barbecue at the end of every week and Anna performs. So we have a well-fed, happy crew.
Absolutely.
I
It's
mentioned
important.
this on the show, but never to you, Richard. When we did End Zone 2, you had mentioned bringing the grill over and grilling meats, and I was all excited because I always see him on Facebook. And then a lot of the people there were vegan, so it didn't happen. And I was like, well, I'm not vegan. I kind of would like Richard to come over and grill some meats. So it, unfortunately.
So, we have vegan friends.
Yeah.
So, I grill vegetables, baked goat's cheese, roasted garlic. We've got grilled tofu.
We're just gonna have to make another movie together.
Exactly.
Just a barbecue.
And then for the rest of them, I tell them that life is bitter, but the pork is sweet.
I will remember that saying. I like it. So I love the opening artwork in Bloody Bridget. So, like, who did the illustrations and who was like the whole art team behind them?
Comic artist Martin Simmons from London. He does like DC and Marvel covers.
Oh,
We love to have him. We had a lot of great collaborators on this.
And, just like the rest of the art in the movie. So, who was all involved, on the look of the film?
God, we had the art director was God. What was it? He had a name, an odd name. Like Coffins Martinez, like Coffins, like horror Coffins Martinez.
What's a perfect name?
yeah. Absolutely.
Art director, and then Howard Wexler, my DP. I worked with him for 25 years. We're like friend gingers. Work fast.
This seems like a really good team of people. I know. Oh,
Faster, better.
I was just. Oh, the sound is strange right now.
No, I was just testing a couple things. Go on.
Okay. All right. So I was saying everybody is, even when they're horrible people in this film, are fun. I love Pepe so much.
Yeah, Pepe's great.
So where did you source Pepe? Is this someone you know or someone you found?
Marcos. We worked with him first on Aliens, Cons, and Geeks. He was a singer, dancer in the cabaret scenes that I was also in, and he was just so wonderful to work with. And Rick, you kind of wrote that part for him, right?
Yeah, and they've become dance partners off, on stage as well.
Yeah, we're both professional dancers, so it's kind of fun when there's an opportunity and I need a partner, I'll bring him up. But yeah, he was wonderful to work with.
You're going to see Marcos and Bloody Bridget too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Renegade Film Festival also mentions that horror fans in Georgia can catch Bloody Bridget as part of the double feature with the 40th anniversary of Reanimator on Friday, February 21st at Renegade Film Festival. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great film festival.
Yeah, we love it. We've been there before.
A couple of years ago. And it was
Yeah, for Smash and End Zone 2.
Yes.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. It won very cool awards too. They have some of the coolest awards at Renegade. It's like the severed hand with the knife,
With an axe.
knife, axe. They're all sharp objects, so it all works.
Find something and we get one.
Exactly. So Richard mentioned ripping hearts out in the theater, but in the movie there's a lot of hearts being ripped out. So the gore is great, and I also appreciate that there's sound effects accompanying them, because I always think that really adds a lot to the gore.
Yeah, you need to hear the rips and the bursts and the gurgles and the squirts. I want the bigger squirt.
That's how I pictured directing it, like a bigger squirt here. And,
we got some big squirts.
There definitely are. What was the hardest part of the Bridget look? You got the hair going on, you got mouths on your nipples. So what is the hardest part of the whole creation of Bridget?
For me,
Yeah.
the hardest, I don't know. It was I was like you guys have said, I love horror, so this is like my favorite thing to do. It's so much fun. I look forward to it. And in every film, I'm just hoping that there's a scene where I'm like just doused, drenched in blood, or ripping out guts, or like shooting a flamethrower or something. So this is really fun. What was the hardest part? I mean, we shot all of the kills back to back on a green screen stage in one day. So I guess the hardest part was just.
Well, here, let me say. Okay, so she's to save money. I did the kills back to back. So instead of bringing the special effects department location, we just put in pieces of the set from the other scenes. So it saved a week shooting. Who's a trooper, a ridiculous trooper. She's like got tubes taped to her with Gorilla Tape. And so here now she's like ripping, her nails are getting ripped off. She has to eat this piece of shit and not, while staying in character and holding angles for two cameras. And basically it was cut, give her a cold shower, bring her back, next, action. No complaints.
Wow.
I was doing
Committed.
that over, yeah. And then in some of the scenes, it's like I have to like be looming over and hold that, and you think it goes fast, but you're actually standing there for like a half an hour, just trying to get a shot. And also like being considerate to my scene partners, leaving space for them. It's all like a little awkward, And then because we only have like kind of one take for those major like chest spreads, it's like I felt so much pressure to get it right and to like have the energy each time and make it fresh every single kill. So, but luckily I had like such an amazing director, and the crew was amazing. My makeup team, Kenneth Calhoun and Jacob Barber from Soda Effects, and they just like totally had my back and were taking care of me the whole time. So
I was Anastasia has done ballet since age 3.
Yeah.
It's hard. She's danced on broken toes. You wouldn't think so, but she is the daughter of 2 ex-Marines and spent every weekend growing up in young Marines. So she's like not forget ideologies or whatever. But I'm not a good everybody. But Anna's a samurai. Doesn't complain. I don't even know until driving home that like something's playing. Whatever. But she's like a total trooper.
So what was the heart you bit into? You know what it was made out of?
All kinds of stuff in the shop floor for all we know.
No. I was told that it was going to be like gelatin, which would be fine, but then it ended up being like foam latex.
Yeah.
I couldn't get, because with my things, I couldn't bite and like rip it apart because it was so thick. So they ended up scoring it with like a razor on set. And so all of this like micro like plastic and micro foam and all of this was like inside my gums, and it was like making me stretch, and so I had to like hold it together for the shots and make it look yummy, and it was maybe that was the worst. Those scenes where I'm like, that was the worst.
I told her that the hearts were going to be made out of tofu with red curry sauce.
They're going to be delicious.
And, all right. Then you would have really been in there like, oh my God, it's amazing. Sounds
It's funny when I'm filming, I don't even get hungry. It's like if I'm going to Disneyland or something, I'm like, my eyes are on the prize. I just want to get through it, and like get the shots. I like working quick, so it's great with Rick because he has a really joyous like vibe on set, and everybody's so happy, and he shoots really, really quick, which is great for me. I come from the stage, so I like to move quick and fast through stuff. As long as we've got it, obviously. But so yeah, it was wonderful with him.
Yeah, well, also as I work in the digital age, I'm able to work with 2 cameras, which speeds things up. And with my DP Howard, we understand each other so well that we cut the time down between shots. And then we were blessed with a very professional crew. They all have huge stage credits, so they can move. And it even gave me the time, but this is what I love to do with good actors, is, okay, I've got it. I've got my take. We've got it. It's in the can. Now we're going to do 1 or 2, do anything the fuck you want. A lot of the time they do something better. They even improvise something not in the script. And actors love that.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
We love that. Because it's like, as an actor, you're at home, you're working on your scene, and you're like, okay, this is what it's going to be. And then you go to set, and sometimes you don't have time to rehearse, and it turns out to be a totally different like motivation or direction that we're going. And then you get that one chance to do exactly what you planned. And, like what Rick said, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it's nice as an actor to get that like flexibility.
What you call it, like the bonus takes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an actor, so you know.
It sounds like a lot of fun to be able to do that. I can imagine. I'd never. Can I call you Anna as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, just the idea of what you were just saying about how fun that is as an actor coming on set. I never really thought about that before, about how you might be like, oh, I kind of want to do this and have to hold back because you're being directed another way. That sounds like a huge, wonderful experience to be able to have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really respectful of a director and obviously the words that I have to say as like how I'm communicating as a character. So I try to be very respectful of that. But I also am like I'm a comedian. I love to improvise. I love to read the room. I love to play off my scene partners. So I do like that like freedom and flexibility. Like if I'm feeling this, like can I hit this harder? Because also it's like when you're dealing with partners, I always have terrific scene partners and they're ready to play, and it makes it fun because they're doing like these hot choices where I wouldn't even think of going that route, and it's like being free and flexible in the moment to take on that new choice, and then with Rick it's like you get to play around, so it's like super fun.
Yeah, we keep a fun energy on the set,
but also focus, like it's the best of both worlds for me, because like I'm very like OCD. I'm a perfectionist. I love to get work done and I love to go fast because like I'm a fast thinker. And so it's perfect because he also goes fast and he knows exactly what he wants. And I love a director, a creator who has like a very clear vision of where he's taking us and where he's taking the characters in the story. And I felt like very supported in that realm.
Do that 3-minute scene a half a second faster with your nose to the left. Action.
That's one of the things. When you're going to set, it's like all of a sudden all of these notes that you didn't have before. Like I've got to get around the couch, on my ex over here, and I've got to give the cigarette to this person. It's
perfect. And equally for you, talking about how wonderful it is to work with her. I mean, for you to work with him, how is it for you to work with her?
Oh, she's a dream come true. First of all, we've been doing live performances together for over 10 years. Yeah. And in Aliens and Clowns and Geeks, Anastasia did 5 different parts where she looks different. Prosthetics, playing old, playing young, playing a nun, playing a floozy. So kind of uncredited, she's there throughout the movie. But Anna's my dream actress come true, because it's funny, when we met, her day job was in a horror practical effects house, and she's working with Stella Adler in the evenings, like honing her dramatic technique. So I mean, under these blonde curls is a very well-trained professional actress. I'm very lucky.
You know, we rehearsed that tonight.
So at the event at the Mightier Than the Sword Film Festival, what kind of stuff's going on there? Because I know when you guys have a screening, it's usually not just we're showing the movie. There's other stuff going on.
Well, they promised me a cigar and whiskey bar, which you can't do together in California anymore. And no,
really?
We're going to do Aliens, Clowns, and Geeks this coming Friday night. And then Saturday night will be a double feature of Bloody Bridget and Forbidden Zone. And Anna's going to do a couple of burlesque numbers. I put a band together with local musicians. Anna's wrangled some local burlesque talent. And we'll do one of our pre-shows.
Yes, we, as you guys know, we do like these wild, crazy, almost like a vaudeville-esque, immersive pre-show. And so I've wrangled in some wonderful burlesque talent, Trouble DeVore and Molly Ringworm. So they're going to be doing a number. I know. They're so wonderful, though. They're going to be doing a crazy number. And then I'm going to be doing my, Bloody Bridget number where I literally rip the beating heart out of an unsuspecting victim in the audience.
Wow.
Rip them to shreds. And then we'll watch the film, and we'll do the fun pre-show as another one after intermission, before Forbidden Zone. And yeah, it's going to be crazy.
We're gonna have a hell of a time.
Yes, they're always super fun, and we've got to get you guys to one.
Yeah, I love the idea because it makes each one special. As obviously it's cool to watch a movie, but it makes it special. It's something you can't experience unless you're there.
Yes, exactly. And then with Forbidden Zone, Rick likes to go on stage and he sings his part, and then
I kind of shadow cast my parts.
yeah.
And my brothers sometimes too.
That's fine.
Like Q&A stuff and meet and greets and special merch that's only available, in person and stuff. So it's like really special for his fans to experience his films, especially Forbidden Zone, which was not available for so long. It was out of print. So for his fans to experience it on the silver screen the way that he intended his art to be witnessed, so it's super fun.
Yeah. So Renegade Film Festival, where did you guys, what gets you more excited, live performances or filmmaking?
God, first of all, live performance is the most exciting. And filmmaking, it's a whole other thing. Like I was a stage director, and there were times, okay, I've done this perfect, but then you see it fade in people's minds over the years. Then you get it right, you get hit by a bus, and they can watch it 100 years later. And there's something wonderful about that too. And also, there's things you can do on film you can't do on the stage. So they're different. And I love material.
Yes, I agree with that. And also for me as a performer, I love the instant gratification that I have with a live performance, and just having the audience in the palm of my hand and throwing intestines at them and watching them how terrified they are of when I'm like popping balloons in their face. Those are precious little moments for me.
Very good. Yeah. It's always fun to throw intestines.
Always. I mean, you're not living. You're not.
Yeah. I have some right here next to me at all times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I saw the Forbidden Zone, the director's cut, for the first time. I've seen the movie many times, but I never saw the director's cut. And I watched it today for the first time, and it's outstanding. And can you just talk, Richard, about the importance for you to get the director's cut made? Because this is something that, went on for decades to get the director's cut.
Well, okay, so the original Forbidden Zone, I was intending to shoot it in black and white and then do this hand colorization art technique they did in Paris in 1918, which was insane. And I ran out of some people go to film school. I just went and shot one. Pretty much bankrupted me. I had lost kind of control of the finishing whatever. And also, we didn't have all the digital things available today. So it wasn't until, basically it played summers, then it went out of print for years, and then 10, 12 years ago, we cleared the music rights, released it again. A company offered to colorize it, and they let me tweak it any way I wanted. What color are Danny's eyes? I don't know. I called Bridget on the phone. She said, I don't know, kind of green and brown, and they got it. And then there were also, this was the thing, call it like a stream of consciousness. I had everything in the kitchen sink, and I had a few images that I wanted to take out of the film, but it was too late. They kind of bothered me a bit. So I was able to fix those digitally, but I couldn't do it way back when. So this is how the fixes, the things that I found objectionable, I was able to take out and then replace. So the director's cut is, 45 years later. Life is funny. That works.
Yeah. Has the other cast members have they seen it, and how involved were they? Were you in contact with them over time? I want to make this director's cut.
God, it was so many years later.
Yeah.
40 years later. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Those now Matthew Bright, who's a co-writer and star of the movie. What was your relationship with him? What was you and his backstory?
Well, Matthew, okay, we're still in touch. My brother and I went to different high schools. I was born in Watts, went to school in Crenshaw. He was 4 years younger, and then they moved into a different neighborhood. So he didn't go to high school in the hood. But Matthew went to high school with Danny, and he was in the original Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo. So Matthew and I go way back, and he's brilliant, he's wild. He lives in Chiapas, Mexico, or in the Amazon, and he's directing something now. But he's a unique fellow. Yeah, Matthew and I stay in touch.
Yeah, so I
directed 2 scripts of his, Modern Vampires and Shrunken Heads, years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you said you're still in contact with him, so I assume he got to see the director's cut. What was his thoughts?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I saw him a year ago, and I think he's coming to LA soon. We just talked about other stuff.
Yeah.
He's hardcore, kind of offend everyone, don't change anything. It's,
I see. I could see that thought process too.
I'm out there, and he's more out there. That makes sense.
Yeah. What was the script like for Forbidden Zone? Because obviously you've seen the movie, but it's very weird. So I don't know. Are all those scenes written out as a script, or is it drawn out, or
I took a dozen numbers from our Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo stage show, and then I wrote a script, and then I had Matthew write 3 or 4 key scenes in the film. It's mostly mine, but Matthew definitely put his stamp on it. But the thing where he's, the mother comes in and kind of beats him up with the father and all that. That was pure Matthew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an amazing movie. If people haven't seen it, it's only $2 to rent on YouTube. So don't be cheap. Go and go watch it, and don't steal it. Go watch it on YouTube. You can rent it for $2. You can buy it for $10. Then you can have it forever. Yeah, or go buy the actual edition, all that stuff. I do have to ask, because I'm a big fan of the movie Maniac. What was Joe Spinell like, and how did he get involved?
God, how was he? An interesting casting process. Hervé Vilches from Fantasy Island was Matthew Bright's roommate.
Oh, wow.
Roommate Susan Terrell, and she knew Joe Spinell.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Like, hey, get in this movie. He's like, all right, let me do it.
Joe was great. I mean, these are real pros too. You know, it's like, I mean, it was a zany film, but I had a really talented cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in some pretty. Speaking of creeps, his film roles have been a little. What would Bloody Bridget do if he encountered the roles of Joe Spinell?
I missed part of that.
Oh, yeah, I think our sound is not great. Neal, would it be possible to go to a break and try to figure it out?
Not really, no. I mean, I don't know really what else we would do at this point. But
Yeah.
I think Annabelle's asking, though, what would Bloody Bridget do if she would come into contact with Joe Spinell's character in Maniac?
Oh, that heart would be on its way out. Not just that, but with a few pithy lines as she ripped it off his chest.
Yeah, you have to get the nice one-liners in there.
Yeah, like
Super funny.
the hillbilly guy. She was commenting how cholesterol's a bit high. Must be that Southern cooking.
Those were one-liners. I'm glad you brought that up because it was just another part of this character that was just fun. Just fun to see her every time. There's always something different. It was fun.
Wait till you see her in Bloody Bridget 2.
We had people asking about that in the chat. Just they want to know what is there any news on Bloody Bridget 2?
Well, my bucket list is Forbidden Zone 2, which is in the works. Anastasia will play the princess, but you won't recognize her face because we're going to make her ugly. Bloody Bridget 2. Well, Bloody Bridget, okay, we've got Pepe, you know, her gay dance partner, the burlesque dancer, and then they've got the threesome with Baron Samadai from Haiti. And then their threesome, Bloody Bridget 2, is a little too hot. Devil's down in hell looking at the thing on his laptop, getting jealous, goes up for a very painful force. Okay, so Bridget complains to her little people lawyers, Daniel Dershowitz Jr., Yarmouth from Brooklyn's. And so the devil orders them to infiltrate the leprechauns to retrieve a document. And then they're all, what the heck? So, we're going to have some cross-cultural Ireland adventures.
Ireland is just sweeping Bridget.
Yeah.
More of it.
I did that Irish dancing here, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our ballet dancer also does Irish step dancing.
Excellent. That's great. I love it.
Choreographer Lennon, she came up with all of the dancing and stuff, so she's so talented. And helped out. Usually I do my own choreography, but we were doing so much with the film. I wanted to kind of pick a lane and where do I focus? Because I was also helping create, how do we want Bloody Bridget to look as a demon, and then what's her costume what's her wardrobe gonna look like? So I'm really hands-on with those kind of important choices.
And you have to stay for the credits because the musical number in the credits of Bloody Bridget is great.
And you like my little Yiddish thing at the very end?
Yes, I love it. I'm totally into it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, how about your vampire film? What's going on there?
Wait, which modern?
Don't you have a Yiddish vampire?
Oh, the novel.
Oh, the novel. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's a novel. We're doing an audio book. I turned down to and then it's something I'd like to do. I'm actually doing animation projects right now, and I might do Shamazel as 3D animation.
That would be rule. Yeah.
Using live actors and then using motion capture to get the performance.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, I'm totally into that. And I'm also into audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks every day, so I would love to. I would definitely listen to that.
Yeah, and we'll wait for the Shamazel of Sabria.
Yeah, I will definitely listen to that. Who's reading it? Are you reading it?
I'll do the narrator, but I'm having actors.
Also, it's gonna be like a whole cast for the audiobook.
Yeah, Anna's going to be like some snotty little peasant girl.
So like a radio play.
Pardon me?
Like a radio play.
Radio play, yes.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful story, and it's very cinematic. But I was reading it before it went out, and I had to hurry up and read it. I wanted to like make it stretch out because it was such a fun story to read. But I think it would make a really kick-ass film as well, like a huge big budget film.
Well, I started it as a script, picturing it as a movie, and then I said, "No, let's do a novel instead. We get into their heads." But it was always intended to be a film.
That'll be interesting.
Faith is very excited you guys are on. She's a huge fan of Forbidden Zone on Facebook and Bloody Bridget. She's always quoting it. Yeah. She's very cool. And I love the I don't want to give away, but the ending scene before the Yiddish musical number is outstanding in Bloody Bridget. Even the courtroom scene with the devil is maybe my favorite scene.
It's me, the devil, by the way.
Yes, the perfect role for you. Now both you and Danny are known for devils in your films.
Yeah, he's written music for Forbidden Zone too, but I don't know if he's going to play the devil again.
Oh, that would be pretty amazing if he did, though. Reprise the role of the devil. But the music, anyway, is pretty sweet.
I'm glad between Danny and Eagle Club, you get amazing music.
Yeah.
The lyrics in that final number with the devil, everything was so clever and so fun. And it all felt, I don't know how many different people were involved in writing lyrics and all the things, but it was smooth.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the movie really flows. And I'm a big fan of the lawyers in the movie, too.
Yeah, Daniel Dershowitz and Daniel Dershowitz Jr. Or Dial Daniel.
Yeah, every time they were on screen, I had a smile on my face.
Yeah, they're both great actors.
Yeah. So, My Bloody Bridget is great. People should definitely check it out. I would, if you can. I've not seen it with an audience, but I do think I can imagine that's the funnest way to get to see it.
Anyone's in North Carolina, come to Mightier than the Sword.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday night, and then we'll be at it's called Joe's Whiskey Bar.
Oh, nice.
Cigars. I've been promised they couldn't come up with our $20,000 fee, but all the whiskey I can drink and cigars.
They might lose out on that deal. Yeah.
Right.
They might we should have just given the $20,000. Yeah. Do you have a favorite brand of whiskey?
Well, I've been partial to Johnny Walker Black ever since I was 15. And Anna likes Woodford.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Woodford Reserve. Yeah. Yeah, did you? I'm more of a bourbon person. I don't drink anymore, but when I drank, I was more of a bourbon person. So the Woodford's probably for me. But did you ever go on the Bourbon Trail?
Well, I was on a film festival in Kentucky where they got me drunk on all these single batches, but I drank so much, I lost track of what was which.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a convention in Kentucky too and went on the Bourbon Trail. It was a good time, and I got to hand dip a Maker's Mark, my own Maker's Mark bottle, which I kept and never opened. But it's not necessarily my favorite bourbon, but it was good. I like it. How about favorite cigar?
Go ahead. Keep it relevant.
Favorite cigar.
Well, I like the Oyo de Monterey. I lived in Paris for a few years when I was younger in a theater group, and I was given Cubans. But right now, the Hondurans are actually better than the Cubans in a fraction of the price.
Well, that's a good tip for everybody out there.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Annabelle?
I was going to ask if you were going to be doing this combo in other locations anytime soon.
Well, we've been Canada, Brazil.
Oh.
It depends. It looks like one of the animation shows are going into production. And then Anna's got her Bloody Bridget Horror Chat podcast coming up that she's going to be doing weekly.
Nice.
A little bit about
that. Yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned it when I was here last. But I'm creating a a new show with Bloody Bridget, so I'll be in that
In costume.
in the character. Like what would you say, like a horror hostess, like in
Yeah.
like kind of like Elvira or Vampiro or like Vincent Price, that kind of thing. I've kind of gotten a little sick of the like Instagram version of talking about your favorite films, and I just kind of want to bring it back to the old school, like the horror host. And you know how much I love like horror and film history, and so I want to talk about these old classic films and shine a light on them and their creators, like I always try to, and then also bring in like new inspiring horror films that I watch. And then if I can get like some fun horror creators on the show, that's great too. So,
I love this idea, and we'd be happy to link it up on the website. You know, when you have the episodes up.
That'd be great.
Of course, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
always so supportive. I love your podcast.
So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love
we
that
love
you're-
having you guys on.
Oh, absolutely. I love that you're going to do horror host. I'm not up on all the horror hosts, but I think there is a little bit of a vacuum. So it will be great. As
Yeah,
far
for new
as
ones.
someone who is like really, really over the top, like has a personality, has a name, has a look. So that will be it'll be a lot of fun. I knew someone who was doing it, and I don't know what happened. It faded away. Things happen, COVID and all that stuff. So
I've been trying to search and see if there's like anything, like not to say anything competitive, because like I don't know, I'm my own crazy insanity. So I don't know who could be equivalent, but I just feel like this is like kind of a fun thing to do with the character and keep the character going and see how far it goes. And also, I kind of wanted to do like a little bit of a kind of a Pee-wee spin on it because I'm really goofy. So I just kind of want to like bring, like tactical, like fun, like episodes and sexy episodes.
It's something like it's this whole other side. It's like a very dark burlesque. This is not Peter Fontees. This is David Lynch. And the Jodorowsky family brought her to Mexico City a few years ago to do an homage to Santa Sangre. Where she
wow,
the family, and she had the arms cut off.
wow.
Trying to produce 100th anniversary of Lon Chaney Sr.'s Phantom of the Opera that Anna's going to do like an homage.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we're next month we're looking at venues.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lon Chaney Sr.
And you guys have had me. Let me talk about
They
this.
have the same birthday. We go to this resting place with flowers. It's serious business.
Yeah, he's my idol. You guys know. Anybody who talks to me knows I slip it in there. I make a conversation about Lon Chaney Sr., even if that has nothing to do with it.
Well, horror
No,
cinema would not be the same without him. He's
Oh, wow. Don't get me started, The whole bracket and the whole speech with him.
Well, I like what Richard said, that you have a funny side too, and that's what I like about Richard's movies, your guys' movies together. It's got a cartoon feel to all your movies, so it's like it both my childlike side and my adult side, and I think that appeals to. I think it's a certain audience that appreciate that kind of film, that kind of story.
it's specifically mentioning. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
That's it.
Yeah, it's really zany. It's like
Yeah, like a,
life, I would say.
yeah, like a live action Looney Tunes cartoon, but much more adult.
But you mentioning Pee-wee, I just watched the Pee-wee Christmas special and all the people that used to be in it. Movie. I love him so much. There was nothing else like him. He was the one of a kind. He was in public. He was Pee-wee for years and years and years.
Yeah, and that's what I love. It's like when these creators imagine these like personas, and they're so invested and these choices, and I love that. And I feel like my character Bloody Bridget has resonated with so many people just on the film festival tour, not even with it being released yet. I've had so many people reach out and say how much they love Bloody Bridget and how much like her like strength and power like means to them. And so that's really moving for me. And so I just like, not to say I want to be like an idol or anything like that, but I just love having that kind of like platform to make like, you know, like everybody's included and, you know, watch out bad guys.
Yeah, not necessarily a role model.
You had that one comedian, it was like,
it depends. For women, I feel like she is a role model.
Well, there you go.
absolutely. Well, and for men too, to behave. Don't be an asshole.
That's a good one.
They're like boys. Time out or I'll rip your heart out. Like, be good. It's not that hard.
No, it's not extreme. Don't be a super racist. Don't rape people or steal their money. I mean, hey.
And you know, that's a really important part that like I feel like right now we're not used to seeing bad guys be really bad on screen because everybody's worried about offending people. And I think it's like you need to be able to see a bad guy be bad so that, you know, like Bloody Bridget isn't the villain. She's actually taking care of people. She's saving women on the streets from like these mass murderers and rapists. And she's saving herself, which is really important. And she gets vengeance on her attackers as well. I mean, not to like spoil anything, but that's kind of the whole vibe of Bloody Bridget. You know,
Yeah, we talked about that before. I always think that's kind of insane, really, that, you know, like if you have a villain, they should be villainous. And to be offended by a villain being, I could see if the hero is doing all these horrible things, maybe you have a point. But if the villain is just like a good guy, then, you know, what kind of story do you even have at that point?
Look away when Batman like accidentally blows up somebody, right? Like he's fine to do that.
Yeah, because it's all these other, they're all heinous people, so it's totally fine. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're not likable villains. Well, except for Baron. He's likable. Okay, but they figured that out.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times I love a good, fun villain. I mean, we do, right? There are villains out there. It's you just love them. They have that charisma. You're there for it. But these are all importantly very unlikable. You do not want to feel any kind of connection or wow, there's something endearing. There is no endearing anything to any of these villains.
Well, they just, you want to see them get it. They get it.
Yes.
No,
And you're just like, yeah.
Some of these people, it's like a very relatable situation. These people in power taking advantage, you know, and so it was really important to show how bad and corrupt, you know.
They all get to watch the beating heart as it's being ripped out. Even up his offer to $1,000, just, you know, as it was getting ripped out.
The band in the movie that have all like the animal heads, is that a real band?
The radioactive chicken heads, they're good friends of ours.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah,
I'm gonna search these guys out. Yeah, I love them in the movie, and it kind of was like it kind of connected to Forbidden Zone with the big frog head. I thought like it was kind of like, you know, you can kind of see a connections. Maybe they're from the same universe.
Yeah, we're in all their videos, and then our band Mambo Diabolico is in the end credits, and some of the Mambo tunes are in the film, like when she's doing the lap dancing with Pepe. Mambo Diabolico.
Oh.
When you're writing, do you think of the music at the time while you're writing, like what music is going to fit here?
To a large degree, but between my brother and Eagle Plum, a little bit about Eagle Plum, aka Ernesto Guerrero, he's become the top cartoon composer in Hollywood. He does all the top shows. He just did a feature for Warner Brothers, Aztec Batman. And what was the feature? The other thing he just did? The feature for Paul Bunnell.
Yeah.
So these are like between my brother and Ego, I've got the top two guys in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, so
Ego does like Cuphead, the Cuphead cartoons, and then SpongeBob. So yeah, he's like a master of the fun scores and stuff. then obviously nothing shabby.
But no, all my films are back-to-back music.
Yeah.
They're music-driven, and I've got a very clear idea of what I'm looking for, and then I've got the team to deliver it.
Yeah, and I assume you kind of all three of you are on the same page, and it's your brother and someone you've been around with forever. So everyone kind of knows like, oh, this is what everyone's looking for.
Like our best friend.
Yeah.
I am curious. You said you're like a whole school age older than your brother. So who was the start of music? Did
Me.
he feel? Yeah, I figured.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Okay, so I got into Afro-Latin percussion when I was 15. And then he had no musical training, no musical background, wasn't into bands. And then I think he was around 16. We got him a guitar. And a month later, he could pick out a Django Reinhardt solo, top jazz guitarist from the 30s. And then we got him a violin, and a month later, he could do the violin accompaniment. And so I'm 21, I'm in Paris, and I'm in a hit show. And it's a musical show. And the director liked to improvise a bit. He was in the show. And the violinist was from the French opera and couldn't deviate a note from the written score. So Danny, the first week out of high school, shows up at my doorstep in Paris with his electric violin. And I had the director of the show hear Danny and then, hey, okay, improvise. And Danny could follow him. So Danny aced the opera guy out, and he toured with us in France for the summer.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into? It wasn't like we had the internet then when you were getting into Afro-Latin music. So how did you even discover this?
An odd story. I don't know if you believe in past lives or whatever, but it happened suddenly to me when I was 15 and a half. Danny plays 8 or 9 instruments, never studied. I believe in past lives. He doesn't. But he's a walking example. There's no logical reason why he does what he does. No training.
That's wild. How did you get into the music that you were interested in?
God, I was at some. I was born in Watts, went to school in Crenshaw, so I'm living in a kind of Black cultural experience. And it was like I met some Black Cuban people playing music. It started in Spanish, went into Europe, West Africa, and it was like an epiphany. And then I could play the music and explain it. I was a union at 18. I still play Afro-Latin music professionally, but I have no explanation.
That's another thing. How does that happen? That's pretty, random. So, like you said about past lives, that's an uncommon experience for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Anna plays the cello.
Yeah, and you have this whole background too that is not your everyday experience either. It's not, for Anna to be raised with this military family. And you said you traveled around, right? You went to base.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we ended up just like kind of sticking in like Southern California, and I grew up in like South Orange County and like Laguna, and then I've been doing ballet since 3 and just like performances and traveling with performance, so like coming to LA all the time. So LA in Hollywood was always like kind of a second home. So yeah, and then doing effects, makeup, and then pursuing more acting and things like that.
Like if I'm bad, she'll wake me up in the night poking me in the ass with her cello bow. And then if I'm really bad, then I wake up with her hovering over me in the air with her fist.
That happened like 3 times.
Last week.
Eddie 717. How did Richard and Yuzna meet each other?
Well, Anna was her day job was in a practical horror effects shop that I was doing business with. So we bumped into each other in the shop and had a lot in common. I dove on the floor, started kissing her feet, and like the hunchback asked for water.
Me, and they were the person. The person was wondering how you met Brian.
Oh, Brian?
Brian used that, yeah.
Yeah, but I love that answer too. That was great.
First of all, I've always been a fan of Brian Hughes, the Animator Society, The Dentist, all of his films. So he was, Forbidden Zone was off the market, and it was like bootleg for 20 years. And so he had a friend, Jack, a producer, who he persuaded to, you have to hook up, find Richard Elfman and get rights to this. There's a whole market wants it. So he hooked me up with this producer who offered some money. We bought the rights, cleared the music, and then it was released. It was about 15 years ago. It was off the market for 20 years. Most people have seen for the VHS bootleg. I mean, we've been, like, it's never been in South America or Latin America. In fact, we were in the Orbital Film Festival, Michoacan, where they had troops there with guns guarding everything. In the south of Brazil, they all see it. These have to have been bootlegs.
Yeah, how did they watch it?
Well, if it's actually not available to them, the bootleg's not so bad. But if it's available to you, you should be, you can.
Now it's available.
Yeah. So now no more bootlegs, right?
Yeah, now it's available. He's about to celebrate the 45th anniversary this year. So we're working on scheduling a lot of different, like a fun tour and screening events to celebrate. So we're wanting to bring our show on the road and connect with all of his fun fans.
The New England, New York area is a wonderful place.
And we were at a festival in New York. It was good.
Yeah, like Shock Fest.
There was no reason, I don't know what it was. There was a reason we couldn't go out. I do not remember why, but there was a specific reason, and it sucked.
Yeah, we'll be
this out. Please do.
I love New York.
So,
So you've been hearing about the live show. Movies are great, but Neal was saying earlier, like being there for the live show is something. Yes, being there with an audience and a crowd for a movie is amazing in its own right, but then to be able to see. And Ani, you just talking about the things you do, so unique, so different, you're just not going to see it other places.
Yeah, that's what kind of sets us apart and our screening events apart. And that's kind of what has, I guess, pushed me into what Rick was saying about the different pre-show performances that I create, like for the Horosky family for Santa Sangre. I'm doing one for Brian Usna for Reanimator.
We're going to do, by the way, the Cannes Film Festival, Anna's going to be doing a Reanimator homage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, to celebrate.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then I've done this kind of thing for Giovante's The Howling. I've got a Suspiria one. So I kind of get inspired by these horror films, and I find that because of my strong background in dance and that I'm able to make screen accurate costume and props, it just it creates this immersive environment that gets the audience to come and support cinemas. And it's just so unique. And I mean, I don't want people to copy me, but I haven't seen anybody else create these kind of events for fans, And they're like really big parties. Like we always get like a sold out crowd, and his fans are so happy to meet him and like talk with him. It's a really fun time.
And as the producer, I do have to mention, you can also see Anastasia in End Zone 2, which you can get on Blu-ray, you can stream. And I think these are all sold out, but there was a limited edition VHS tape out there, which I have a copy of.
I do as well.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
also in Bloody Bridget, we were lucky to get a lot of friends to come and do little cameos. I don't know if you noticed.
I noticed. I messaged Michael. I was like, "Oh, I just saw you get killed in Bloody." Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I saw you in Bloody Bridget. Yes, yeah.
But by the way, they film a number of our live events. We're huge fans of Michael and Sophia.
They're great.
Yeah.
Can you see those things? You're talking about, the Howling, Reanimator, Suspiria. Can people that do not go to these live events access those?
My performances?
Yes.
You know what? I find I have to sometimes kidnap Sophia and Michael and rent a theater and do it the right way. Get the performance down and get it edited, because I find that I create these events and these performances for like a live audience, and so there's a lot that I find unless it's like highly edited, it doesn't translate like if it's just a fan video. So actually I poo-poo on no, do not record my live performances, because like what Rick was saying, I'm not Tita Von T, who looks beautiful and gorgeous in every little angle.
Yes, she does.
No, I'm like.
Why wasn't I made of stone?
I go like full goblin mode, and I'm uninhibited, and I want to like really go like rageful. So I find that I want the people to experience it, in person. And so I just want to like book a bunch of these fun performances, and I'm definitely open to like for us to travel and create them. So I love doing it.
How would someone contact you guys if they were interested, in booking you at an event?
Well, we have a booking guy.
Yeah, we have our booking agent, and then also we're both on social media like Facebook and Instagram, and we have our websites, richardalfman.com.
And soon she'll have AnastasiaElfman.com.
Yes.
By the way, RichardElfman.com, I'm setting up, we don't have it yet, but it's coming a merch store. If you want a Forbidden Zone signed by me and Danny, well, that's the place to get it. Sign more, Danny. Come on.
My hand's cramped. Just keep signing. Yeah. Jason Delgado brings up, glad to run across this live interview. Richard, Forbidden Zone has been one of my favorite movies for years. All of your work with Matthew Bright is an inspiration for my love of film.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Speaking of Michael, I know that's a big inspiration for him too. He's a huge fan of Forbidden Zone, Michael Epstein.
As we are.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
We mentioned this earlier, but Jason wants to know also about Forbidden Zone 2. So rewind and you'll find out about Forbidden Zone 2. Yeah.
Well, I've come close to making it like half a dozen times. And it's, Danny's written music, but I've got a lot of these old tunes that literally cost some of them like over $100,000 to clear.
Wow.
To do it right. It's things have changed in the last 40, 45 years.
Yeah.
So that's my bucket list films.
Yeah.
But I've come so close a couple times. Sometimes you work with a company, they're all gung-ho. You're working on schedules, and the dates pushed, and then there are other film bombs. And then they stop returning calls, and all you have is like a $20,000 legal bill to show for it. But I mean, that's film business. I'm not complaining. I'll do it.
Wow.
You like salmon swimming upstream as these.
Yeah, I mean, also it's like we want Rick to do it the right way, the way that he envisions, and not to compromise his artistic expression. I mean, I like to use the like kind of analogy of like Beetlejuice 2. Look at how long that took to come out and stuff, so it's like you want to get the version that the fans want and crave, and not like compromise that just to get it done.
Yeah.
But next year looks good. I've got these animation projects that do like bigger network shows, so that should go for good stuff too.
Yeah. So
I
coming
can
up next,
imagine it just builds up. You know, you've been now waiting, so that idea, I would think, of wanting to be true to that just becomes more and more like, if I'm going to do this, I've waited so long, it has to be what I want.
Yeah. All the tunes are picked out. I mean, Danny doesn't charge anything, but some of these other guys sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Mightier Than the Sword Film Festival comes up next weekend in North Carolina. I like North Carolina. It's a good area, a lot of good food and stuff. So that'll be a fun time. Check that out. And there's a lot of other things going on at that festival, so go get a ticket. And you mentioned people can follow you guys around on social media and your website.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Bloody Bridget, I absolutely loved it. It was just a really fun time.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're actually off to Danny's right now.
Have a great time.
Yeah.
We're headed next.
All right. Well, have a good time. Thank you guys for doing this. And you both are welcome back anytime.
Anytime.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yes, love you guys. Dude.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Good luck with everything out there. You've got so
Yeah.
much going on. Oh my Lord. So
Love you guys.
you
Have a
too.
good weekend.
Well,
All
bye
right.
for now.
Bye-bye. Oh, that
What
was
lovely
nice.
people.
Yeah. Looking forward to your next endeavor. God bless you. Cheers to many more. Thank you for answering me. Take care from Jason. I love you guys from Faye. Hello, Faye. She even walked to a hotel to get internet. I know she is she's
Whoa!
up in the cold Alaska, and the internet's not the greatest at the moment.
It's like 21 here. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine.
it's probably like negative 21. But thank you, Faye. Great to see you all. From Pete. Thank you, guys. Very nice. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah,
been
sorry
fantastic.
for a little bit of audio there, but we did the best we could. It was still really fun.
It was still fantastic. Really, really excellent. My first time meeting Richard he's pretty.
Yeah, he's a
I
really
heard
nice
nothing
guy.
but amazing things about him being a lovely person, and he seemed like a very lovely person.
Yeah, super nice guy. So coming up Thursday, we're gonna have our 13 of the year. It'll be me and Annabelle and Troy, Todd Yeager, Alok
Joe,
Mirsha, Joe Nibala.
it's going to be quite a crew.
Yeah.
My
I
Lord.
don't know if anyone else is gonna jump on. I don't know. We
I
probably
mean,
won't.
last time we did
it's
it was
probably-
hours.
Yeah. Oh, and of
Hours and
course, Justin Beheading. He says he has
Oh.
to be in bed by, I think, like 11 his time. So, but that's like 2 a.m. for us. So,
Yeah.
so he should be good.
Well,
Yeah.
so check out all of the Without Your Head things.
Yeah. And I may be doing a
excited.
special Round the Decay show Wednesday just because it was time sensitive. So,
Aha. Well, yeah. Check out all the things. Keep up to date.
Oh,
We've got a
and
lot
I
of
was-
amazing shows.
I'm just talking to AJ Cutler, a good friend of mine.
Oh,
And-
AJ.
We will have AJ and Bill and maybe some other cast members of Our Man Funk on soon to talk about the campaign for that.
Our Man Funk is in a whole new funk world from
Yeah.
when we were reading the script before.
Yeah,
The
it's
total
really
faith
exciting.
AJ is going to elevate it to like new levels. I'm super excited for Bill because this is his like passion project. He really
Yeah,
loves the script, and
exciting.
I'm very excited for our friend Bill
Mhm.
Wheaton.
Yes, I am as well. And I also talked to AJ about a project that we're going to be doing together later in the year. So that is exciting. And the project you know about, and AJ is excited to be involved because he actually knows a little bit about the world.
Oh, really?
So I can't talk too much about it.
Some
But yeah.
insider information.
Yeah, he was binge watching some videos of mine that are
I
are
saw
around.
some of them as well. I decided I would follow up. You're not going to name drop what they're from so people can investigate.
Oh
on
yeah,
them?
so you can watch him. Stuttering John, from Howard Stern fame. The Shuli Network, also from Howard Stern. Shuli Egar. Rob Saul. He gets really angry if I don't mention Rob Saul. So Rob Saul show. And he gets
You'll
he
have
was
a
really
little
mad at that
stint.
if I don't mention it. So yeah, the Rob Saul, KB, Kevin Brennan, brother of Neal Brennan, a former writer of Saturday Night Live. He's got a pretty big following. Even Anthony Cumia talked about it. From Opie and Anthony. Yeah, and I was on Pat Dixon's show, all kinds of shows. I guess I'll be on Joey C's show coming up, but yeah, popping around all these Dabbleverse shows to
Yeah. You're just getting tossed around like a hacky sack.
yeah. Then they'll get sick of me and I'll fade away.
Yeah, they're just using you to get at each other.
Yeah, I actually saw my disciple of the Nasty Nation was in here earlier, Dr. Chow, the Mega G. And so he is the gatherer of links, my official disciple of the Nasty Nation.
So get out there and follow it so you can chime in on the YouTube because it's crazy out there. It's just silliness. So, all right. But I think it's a good time to wrap.
Yes.
Great. And check it out, Faye.
Stop!
Why wreck a good video, a good interview?
Well, she walked all the way to the hotel to get here, so she deserved it.
Meow at her in your private time.
She deserved one.
Take it to your room, buddy.
I'll meet her at the hotel. So look, she even gave me a meow here too. Like, that's nice. Yeah. All right. No, it was really fun. It's a good time.
Absolutely.
Both are amazing.
So this Thursday, what is it? The 5th, 1/5 is going to be 1/9.
Yes, the 9th.
Make sure you come to the YouTube channel for the show because that is where anybody out there that's trying to chat and no one's replying. It's probably because you're on Facebook or some other place. Come to the YouTube because that's where live chat is on the side. We'll try to get to people. We can't always get to everybody, but it's always great to have people in here interacting. Even interacting with each other. It's a really good time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, yeah, exactly. It creates the community there in the chat room on YouTube.
So nice to see you, Neal.
Nice to see you as well.
And
check out our dinner and a movie. We talked about Nosferatu.
The last show we talked about Nosferatu's mustache, our last podcast. Yeah. So if you want to check out foolishness. But all right, let's wrap it up. We don't need to. Yeah, I like you, Faye, but meowing has been a problem with me and Neal for years and years and years and years. Years. Where he meows, and I want to bloody Bridget you and just like rip out your heart and chomp it as you look up with terror and regret.
I do have to say, Faye does a much better purr than I can do. If she can roll the tongue, I'm not good at that.
Please don't do that.
All
not
right.
Faye, you can do whatever you. It's Neal. It's Neal.
All right, so we're gonna play us out with The Tomb of Nick Cage. This year we should get back to music of the month. So out there, if you got a horror themed band and you like to be played on the show, hit us up.
Weird.
What?
Just
weird.
Like,
right.
They mentioned earlier about like a David Lynch. Like if you're in the Lynch or somewhere in the mad zone,
whatever it is, and if we think it's fitting, we'll do it up.
Unless we don't want you.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. If it's fitting, but don't feel bad if we don't think it fits.
Yes, but at any rate, love you. We're out. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. This is Nasty Neal.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
And this was Without
Your Head.